What is going on, my crazy 76er fanatics? We are back with another daily pod for your daily 76ers discourse and discussion. All the likers, all the watchers, all the commenters, and especially the subscribers, you guys have been going crazy. Thank you guys so much for keeping the conversation going, keeping this channel flowing, and stopping back for another daily pod with your daily discourse, because we got to talk about VJ Maxx, y'all. TJ Maxx, you get your home goods, you get your essentials. Sometimes you buy your clothes, but VJ Maxx gets you buckets, gets you dubs. And in Philadelphia, you gotta trust VJ Maxey. That's VJ Edgecombe, that's a Tyrese Maxey, and rumor is that maybe the best backcourt in the NBA currently, because Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe are breaking records at a standpoint where records were even tough to track. Apparently, VJ Edgecombe and Tyrese Maxey have scored the most points by a backcourt in the first 3 games since 1970, when the stats were being tracked. I think they scored the most points by any backcourt in NBA history, whether we were tracking the stats or not. VJ Edgecombe and Tyrese Maxey have combined put up a total of 186 points, and just last night, those guys combined for 69 points. Talk about VJ to the max, if you know what I'm saying, guys. These guys are getting buckets. They are balling. And truthfully, they are looking like a homegrown duo, a tandem. Not for today, not for tomorrow, but if you're a Philadelphia fan, your finger crossed are for forever. Hopefully, VJ Maxx, VJ Edgecombe, and Tyrese Maxey, they are playing off of each other stupendously. You can talk about the 69 points they had last night, but you got to acknowledge the 15 assists they had combined. The 15 assists that Maxey had 8, VJ had 7. Guys, they are not only managing the backcourt in terms of getting other players and each other involved, but they also know how to call their own numbers because they are scorers and scorers at heart. The VJ Maxx combo, to me, it's surprising. To Nick Nurse, he kind of expected it. Sixers head coach Nick Nurse said, "What's surprising about VJ Edgecombe?" Nick Nurse had this to say, "It's not that surprising to me. I think he's this good. I thought it right away. When they drafted him, when they selected him, when they picked him, they thought VJ Edgecombe was going to be this doggone good." But VJ Edgecombe has had some standout moments and standout characteristics for Tyrese Maxey. Maxey says the things that stand out about VJ Edgecombe: his charisma. He's a good guy, good kid, but he works his tail off, man. He asks questions. He wants to be good, and those are the type of players you want to be around. And guys, if you're a Philadelphia fan, you want to keep VJ and Tyrese Maxey around each other and playing with each other, not for today, not for tomorrow. Fingers crossed this is a successful duo for the future and for forever. These guys are breaking records, and honestly, they are fueling the team. Tyrese Maxey is the vocal and the visual forefront leader of this squad, because Maxey's had 2 games this season of 40 points or more. 2 games with 40-plus points in the first 3 games of the season. Dare I say what I've been saying all summer, Tyrese Maxey is a walking 30. Tyrese Maxey can walk in the gym and get you 30 points per game, whether he's feeling good or bad, whether he's happy or sad. Now, the question was always, who was going to help Tyrese Maxey get these points? Who was going to help Tyrese Maxey get these buckets? And you can say it's VJ Edgecombe, but guys, it's the whole daggone team. And reportedly, you got to clap for Nick Nurse and the impact he's had on this squad through his coaching, guys. Because early on to the season, just off of 3 games, the Sixers have the #1 offensive rating. #1. The Sixers are #1 in average turnovers per game, guys. That doesn't mean they have the most. That means they're averaging the least amount of turnovers in the NBA at about 12 a game. 3-pointers, guys. The Sixers are making the second most amount of 3-pointers in the NBA at 16 threes per game, and their 3-point percentage, as you can see down below, it's #1. The questions we had going into the offseason, how good this team was going to be scoring, how many three-point shots you can count on this team to make per night. So far, guys, so good. No, so far it's been amazing, above expectations. Number one in three-point percentage is more than you can ask for, and number one in offensive rating is unbelievable. For a team who's already going through injuries with Paul George, Jared McCain, and Joel Embiid, who should be, could be, and I still believe will be the bulk of this team's offense rolling down the season. They are playing phenomenal basketball. You got to give it up to Nick Nurse. You got to give it up to Tyrese Maxey, and you got to clap your hands and be surprised by what VJ Edgecombe's doing. But when it really comes down to it, guys, if you've been watching the games, in two of these games, this team has been down by 10 points in the fourth quarter or going into the fourth quarter. So a comeback is what they've been needed to have happen in two of these three games. And in the last game, they had to maintain the lead against a team that had higher firepower, a healthier squad, and maybe just more team chemistry and camaraderie because they don't have so much interchangeability throughout the roster. In the fourth quarter, you need a winner. You need a closer. You just need Maxey to be the hero he's been, guys. Tyrese Maxey last game had 12 points in the fourth quarter, and the bulk of the Sixers' fourth quarter excellence has been in the hands and has been at the disposal of what we would call the visual, the focal, and the franchise leader in Tyrese Maxey. Tyrese Maxey, on how he's been able to maintain this fourth quarter dominance, said, "I'm just trying to close out games." Joel has been on me recently about that, probably since my fourth year, about how I can help close games out and have the ball in my hands and make decisions whether I'm shooting or whether I'm passing. And whatever Tyrese Maxey has been deciding to do, it has been working for this squad, guys. The assists, he's averaging like 7 assists, points. He's in the top in the NBA in points per game, and I don't think that's ever going to change, guys. One thing we have to talk about, guys, is Joel Embiid. What is going on with Joel? Joel did sit out last game, but I do want to note for anyone who is concerned about Joel's health, this was a scheduled sit. This was a scheduled seating for Joel because this is the first back-to-back of the Sixers season. ESPN analyst Ramona Shelburne speaks on Joel's load management and Joel's health so far into the season. Ramona had this to say: "Yesterday was the front end of a back-to-back, and so Joel Embiid is expected to play tomorrow against the Wizards. This is all part of the plan. There's no kind of setback. The Sixers have actually been encouraged with how he looks." And at times, guys, out of two games, the first game was a doggone shame, but the second game, you could say Joel Embiid did look good, did look improved, and did feel more comfortable to run up and down and to move. So Joel Embiid, who had 20 points in 20 minutes his last game, did just sit out against the Sixers playing what we would expect and what we can say is a real Eastern Conference contender. And that contender had no one sitting. That contender had no real stars missing. Paolo played, Franz played, Desmond Bane played, Suggs played, Anthony Black, Wendell Carter. I think that's going to be the bulk of their playoff offense. And those guys were in the lineup, in the rotation, and definitely in the fourth quarter. We didn't have Joel. Didn't have Paul George. Didn't have Jared McCain. And this team not only managed, but it dominated. So what is going on with Joel is the question. How good Joel is going to play today is definitely a concern, because I'm no body language expert, but call me the bench reader. Because at the start of the game, Joel Embiid was on the bench, all smiles, all teeth. But as the Sixers continue to dominate, and as the Sixers continue to apply pressure to the squad, I could not find Joel Embiid in frame. I may even say, could potentially be wrong in here, but I think he went to the back in the second half as if he played to get treatment. It was kind of concerning. Now, of course, you don't want Joel Embiid to be the focus, to get the cameras on him when in a game where he has nothing to do with the actual on-court excellence and on-court success his team's having. You don't want him to be a distraction. But I'm hoping that the attitude and the energy and just the morale around Joel stays the same. Because as good and as successful as this team has been, guys, don't get too comfortable. It's early. It is early. Teams haven't even figured themselves out, let alone figured out their opponents. Teams are still figuring out their offensive schemes before they're scheming for a rookie in VJ Edgecombe, before they're figuring out how good and how great Tyrese Maxey is. Guys, it is early as early can be. I refuse to give up on Joel Embiid. And I'm hoping the Sixer fan base, I'm hoping the WIP callers, I'm hoping the commenters down below, we do not give up on Joel Embiid as of yet, guys, because he's still an MVP. He's still one of the best players on the squad, and he just had 20 points in 20 minutes on one leg, potentially, guys. He's still hobbling, but still dominating. The one part about the game that you did see change when Joel is off of the court, this team is relentless. They go after every offensive, every defensive rebound. They try to contest every shot at the rim, and that's one thing you don't want to change when Joel Embiid is on the floor and on the court, because, again, the offensive rating is #1 in the NBA. So Joel Embiid can only add to that. Joel Embiid can only make this team better. And that's what you're expecting Paul George and Jeremy McCain to do as well. It's the defensive consistency. It's the offensive second chances. It's the attempts at the rebounds. It's the attempts and block attempts at the rim offensively, defensively. You don't want this team to lose a step, to lose the hustle, to lose the effort, and to lose the speed. Because Joel Embiid does play at a slower pace than this team did play last night, but you don't want to lose that speed. And hopefully Joel Embiid is comfortable and excited to be able to rip and run, have some fun, get up and down the court, get as many shots up as possible. That's not typically what he's been comfortable with. That's not typically what he's been known to do. And when you're 7 foot and 250 plus pounds, running may not be your favorite part of the game. But hopefully the success when Joel is in the court or on the floor doesn't change. But if it does, guys, I think it's time to make a trade for Joel. I would never. I want to put this out there. Joel Embiid is one of my favorite players of all time. I would never want to trade Joel. But when you think about the success this team does have, when you think about who's in the front office, Daryl Morey and Bob Myers, these guys have a desire for excellence. These guys have a desire for championships and a desire for greatness. The speed that this team played at, the pace that this team played at, and the defensive interchangeability of guys just switching in, switching out, attacking the rim, willing to block any shot. I don't know if Joel Embiid has that at this point in his career, has that mentally at this point in the season. And again, it's early, so I refuse to listen to anyone who's trying to give up on Joel, get a voice, and have a chance to vocalize that opinion. But if we are going to do it, we should be trading for Lauri Markkanen. Guys, Lauri Markkanen just put up 50 points last night, and defensively, Lauri Markkanen would fit perfectly within this rip and run, have some fun system. If you are going to trade Joel Embiid, you got to take a phone call from Danny Ainge and say, Danny, Joel for Lauri? Joel for Lauri? I don't think Utah is in championship contention, but Utah for daggone sure could be in the play-in. For daggone sure could potentially take that 8th seed and make the playoffs. But that doesn't mean you're going to win a championship. No one wants to make the first round just to make an exit. No one makes the second round just to make an exit. Danny Ainge is kind of like Daryl. Trade pieces, trade acquisitions, and movable assets. Those guys specialize in it. A phone call and a conversation between Daryl Morey and Danny Ainge about Lauri Markkanen for Joel Embiid could be a successful trade for both of these teams, because it would keep the speed the Sixers had last night. It would give more spacing, because Lauri Markkanen is a better shooter than Joel, and it would give the Utah Jazz not only pieces for the future, but also maybe an MVP, maybe a man amongst boys, maybe someone reliable. Because in the West, Joel Embiid could potentially be the best. You never know, guys. Joel Embiid is still an MVP. I'm not giving up on him. I know there's other teams in the league who refuse to give up on him. And if Daryl Morey makes an advantageous phone call to Danny Ainge, I think it may be a phone call and a conversation with an offer that they can't refuse. Lauri Markkanen for Joel may be a trade that does well. And if it's not, and if you don't think it will be, like, comment, and subscribe, guys. You guys have been commenting below. You guys have been having this conversation continue to go, guys. And after tomorrow's game, we are going to address all these comments from our last 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 videos. We're going to address all these comments after this game tonight. Let's go Sixers, guys. Let's go Joel. Joel's still scoring as many points as he's playing minutes, guys. You can't doubt him. You just got to support him, and you got to keep him on the squad. Like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you guys so much for keeping the conversation going, keeping this channel flowing. We'll be back with more daily conversation tomorrow.